Namaste everybody, Lisa, your mom, the Breakthrough Life Coach, and today we're going to talk about narcissists and money. And oh my God, we have to start paying attention to how the people that we know and that we love deal with money. Because when I look back on my life and I try to find the patterns in the relationships that I not only have been involved with, but the relationships that I've witnessed and I've observed, there is absolutely a connection to money. So let's talk about it. So we're going to talk about 12 mind games that narcissists play with money when it comes to finance. And it is financial abuse. There are so many, but I am the most familiar with these 12 that I've labeled, and I want to share them with you. Because I firmly believe that if you don't know a pothole is a pothole, you're going to drive your damn car into the damn hot pothole and not know that that pothole is blowing out your damn tires. I talk about this in Quantum Tools to Help You Heal Your Life Now, where we must identify, we must label what's wrong. We must label what is happening. You cannot fix a hole in the wall you can't see. And had I recognized these games, these financial abuses, if you will, I would have, who knows what would have happened? Maybe I would have known what the hell I was dealing with. So let's talk about it. The first money game or mind game that narcissists play with money is what I call strings attached. So they give you something, right? But here's the thing. It could be a lavish vacation. It could be a lavish piece of jewelry. It could be a home, but guess what? They own you, okay? So the narcissist is doing this thing for you because there are strings attached. You have to feel indebted to them. You may even have to repay the favor. This gift that they give you means you shut up and you listen to me now because look how you live, or look what I bought you, or look at the car you have, right? So you're dealing with somebody, or if you're dealing with somebody who has given you something, but you have over a period of time felt like, ooh, this was not a gift. Gifts are, I give from my heart and I expect nothing in return. That's what a gift is, right? When someone gives you something and you get the sense that they expect you to return the favor, or not even so much return the favor, because that's, if someone's nice to you, it's nice to be nice back, right? But I'm talking about this level of expectation, this level of entitlement to abuse you because they have gifted you. A narcissist will push something on you that you don't even want. They're doing things because they expect you to behave a certain way. So pay attention if you're dealing with that. The second thing is, your money is our money, but my money is my money. Oh my God. When you're dealing with someone with high narcissistic traits, there is no understanding of our, right? Except whatever is yours is ours, but what is mine is mine. So we have to understand that narcissism is about dominance. It's about a fear of feeling vulnerable. It's about the need to control the emotions and even the money of other people. We have to understand that money equals power in many situations, right? It's just assumed culturally that people that have money have the power. And that is true. The more money you have, the more power you have, right? It just is. So when we understand that narcissists are about power and control, we have to assume and expect that a narcissist is going to use money as a form to act, as a way to act out this power and control over their victims. So you could be married to somebody who's got money in the bank. You'll never know it. You can be married to somebody who has a bunch of assets, a bunch of whatever, right? You won't know it. They will not share their assets with you, right? But they will enjoy all of your assets. Third game that narcissists play, mind game that they play with money, is your paycheck is my paycheck. So you work, you have your own job, and a narcissist will coerce you, will guilt you and shame you and dominate you and berate you. And sometimes it's done in a covert way. Like, I'm good at managing money. I should be the one that manages the money. But what they're trying to do is they want you to hand over the paycheck and they want to decide how much you get. And it's about dominance and it's about control. I'm not talking about the couples have figured out a way to have the one person in the relationship figure out how to spend money. Sometimes one person in the relationship is better with managing money. But it's not about power and control. It's about this we that we have, and we need to pay a mortgage, and we need to pay the sitter, and we need to do this, and we need to pay our car loan, whatever. What I'm talking about is the intention to dominate and control the other person and using money as a way to make that happen. So you're dealing with somebody who has coerced you into giving you their paycheck, and now they have complete control over what you spend. They're checking their online banking statement. If you go and you buy a pair of shoelaces, they know about it, right? If you go and buy yourself a bagel, they know about it, right? And they're needling you and they're asking you and questioning about why did you spend this and why did you spend that? So pay attention if that's what you've noticed in your relationship. Number 4, I call this one assets my ass. So the reason I call this one assets my ass is because very recently we have observed someone that we know who lied about having assets. And while in the dynamics of the relationship, lied about what she owned and lied about having access to what she owned. And right, so the person that she's in a relationship with is spending money, paying for everything, and believing everything that this person has said, and denied and lied about having assets. And it turned out there were assets, but then she had no access to the assets, and then the assets belonged to other people. So there was this constant flip-flopping about assets. That's why I call this one assets my ass. So when you're dealing with someone who's a narcissist, you're never going to get the full story. You're never going to know what they own. They're never going to be forthcoming with you. And again, remember that money is associated with dominance and control and power. So when you're dealing with someone who is not a fair person, who is on the high narcissistic spectrum or has high narcissistic traits or is suffering from NPD, you will notice a pattern with money. They're not forthcoming. They lie. They run you around in circles. The story is always changing about what they own, and it's all to dominate you and to stay in control of the power in the relationship. 5, I call this whine but never sign. What I mean by that is that if you're dealing with somebody with high narcissistic traits, you may manifest somebody who whines a lot about what they need and what they want and what the car they have to have or the bag they have to have or the vacation they have to go on or the trip they have to take or the apartment they want to live in or the couch they have to have, right? They whine and they whine about all these things that they want, but they never sign. It's going to be your credit card that gets signed up for. It's going to be your name that's responsible for that car loan. It's going to be your name that's responsible for the loan against your IRA or your annuity. It's going to be your loan. It's going to be your name. It's going to be you who's left holding the bag while they enjoy everything that they've whined and they found a way to get you to pay for. Number 6, I call creep and reap. What do I mean by that? So a narcissist will find ways to creep all your assets out of you, right? It might be a boat. It might be a house. Who knows? It might be, an insurance policy. I don't know. It could be jewelry, right? But what will happen is they will find a way to secure the assets while you reap the debt. So sure, they'll have you put their name on the deed to the house, but their name isn't on the mortgage. They're not responsible for the debt. So they'll find a way to figure out what you own, and they will get their hands on your assets, whether they'll become your beneficiary, for instance, right? They will find whatever they can do to reap the benefits of your assets and even the benefits of your family's assets. But unfortunately, in the end, when it comes to the debt, you're going to be the one left holding the bag. Number 7, I call the shame blame game. So a narcissist will spend whatever they want. They won't tell you what they're spending. They could have, a gambling addiction. They could have a drinking addiction. They could be at the titty bar, getting lap dances, right, with all this cash. But God forbid you go get your nails done or you go buy yourself a pair of shoes and you're going to be guilted and blamed and shamed for spending money, right? So they could have racked up the credit card for ridiculous reasons, and you go and you buy yourself something, and in front of your whole family, when you start talking about credit cards and debt, this person is talking about the one thing that you bought, the one thing that you didn't need, right? Smoke and mirrors, creating this smoke screen. I'm not responsible for the debt. It wasn't me. Look at her, or look at him, look at him, look at her, right? This is what they do. So they keep the focus on you, the little spending that you do or the spending that you do, while they keep their spending in hiding. Number 8, I call the unemployment line. Now, there are some narcissists that want to dominate you and control you and basically incapacitate you and keep you hostage. So they're the ones making all the money, right? They're the ones, everything's in their name. They have complete control over you. And then they find a way to get you to quit your job, or they get you to give up your degree, right? They get you to move away. They get you to sign over your bank statements to them. They're finding a way to keep you on the unemployment line. So when I say unemployment line, basically what they want is they want you to have complete dependence on them. They are in complete control. They want to leave you in the middle of Timbuktu while they go to Bali on some business trip. They can do that because you have absolutely zero access to anything. No fine, you can't get your hands on anything. And they've done this to exercise power and control and dominance over you. So it's important that we recognize that there are narcissists that make no money and they get you to spend everything on them. And there are narcissists who make all the money and they get you to rely on them. So it's very, very important that you begin to, when you're thinking about financial abuse and you're thinking about dominance and control, to figure out where you sit in this, on this spectrum. Where do you sit? It's very, very important that you understand financial abuse for what it is. Now, so many people write me when they're divorcing a narcissist, and this is when you'll see a lot of the ways that narcissists use money as a way to abuse other people or their partners. So we have to remember that narcissism is about dominance and control, and how narcissists will tend to freak out, or somebody with high narcissistic traits even will freak out when they start to feel like they're losing control over you. We're also remembering that money, the person with the most money, has the most power. So we really can't separate this idea of narcissism from money, because it's going to show up in a relationship if you ever deal with somebody when it comes to money who is high on the narcissistic spectrum. So number 9, I struggled with calling it the Punisher or the credit card scheme. And the reason I wanted to talk about this is because this happens so oftentimes when you're trying to divorce someone with high narcissistic traits, right? So let's say you're dependent on your spouse and suddenly you're going through divorce, and what will happen is they need to punish you because emotionally they're losing control over you, and the dominance will show up where? With money. Or the dominance will show up with the kids. They're going to find a smear campaign. These are all ways that they're trying to regain their sense of power in the relationship, because losing power over you is triggering their shame. They're no good, whatever, right? So playing these games makes them feel powerful, and that's the whole goal, because they live through the ego, they live through the false self. And so what they'll do sometimes is they just stop paying the credit cards. Right? They will stop paying the credit card bills. They'll stop paying the mortgage. You're terrified. You know, this is all you have is this house. Now they're going to ruin your credit. They will do what they can to destroy your credit. In some cases, they'll even destroy themselves as long as they feel like they're destroying you. Now, so if you're dealing with the narcissist who is in control of everything, that's what might happen. They'll like threaten to not pay for things, right? And again, you'll be like I was. My ex-husband walked in the house one day. He didn't pay the mortgage for 3 months. He sold our business. I have no idea what he did with the money. Totally financially abused me. Took the credit cards away. The kids and I were down to our last box of macaroni and cheese. I did not understand it as a form of narcissistic abuse, nor did I understand it as a form of financial abuse. I thought it was just angry. I knew he was punishing me, but I didn't understand what was really going on. Now I do. It's absolutely outrageous to treat people like this. Now, when you're dealing with someone who, let's say, you're divorcing a narcissist and you were in control of the money, you were the one with the job, right? What will happen is the person who you were taking care of, so to speak, or the person that was relying on you for finances will run your damn credit card up. They start buying fur coats, or they start going on lavish trips. They start gambling. They start doing things because they want to hurt you financially, because they know that you're the one responsible for the credit card bill. So I just want to make sure that you guys understand that this can happen on both sides of the fence, and it's important to identify it. Number 10, I call playing the poor card. So there are people out there, trust me that when I tell you, that pretend to be a lot poorer than they actually are. And the reason they're doing this is so that you can expect nothing from them, right? So it's almost like when they walk into the room, everyone's like, oh, she has no money, or, oh, he has no money, or, this happened to his family. Oh, her family is going through this, right? And you come into a family or you come into an office situation and everybody's believing this cock and bull story, right? So you have people who have a high empathy and they want to help this person. Suddenly you're buying this person lunch, you're buying them clothes, you're furnishing their apartment. You're just taking care of everything for them. You're giving them a car. Like, it's insane. And it's a complete crock of crap. It's nonsense, right? This person has completely lied. When you ask them about their finances, everything's a lie. Poor me. And it's all to hold on to their own assets. It's all to put you in the position where you are taking care of them and you expect nothing from them. So when you take this person out to lunch, guess what, ladies? You're paying for her lunch every time you go out. Gentlemen, if you're dealing with a woman who is lying about her past, guess what? You're paying for everything. You're paying for her rent. You're paying for her clothes. You're paying for her kids to go to school. You're paying for everything. It could be a complete lie. She could have $1 million in the bank, but you'll never know it because she has learned, or he has learned, that playing the poor card is what keeps them in control over other people, and they get what they want. So it's important to recognize, again, I'm big about patterns. There may be somebody out there who is in financial trouble. I was that such person, but I don't have it within me to take advantage of people. And it killed me to need people, but that was all part of my journey because I was the kind of person that if you needed help, I was going to help you. But when I needed help, it was like I put my arms up like, no, don't help me. I didn't feel worthy of it. It was all part of my journey. But if you are dealing with somebody who has a pattern, right, of playing the victim or a pattern of lying or a pattern of changing the stories. Wait, what? You told me you owned a house that was worth $250,000, right? You told us you sold it. You told us it was just a matter of weeks before they divvied up the money and you got your half of it. Like, why are you still playing the poor card? Why am I still buying you lunch, right? Pay attention to those types of patterns. Number 11, I call dumb and dumber. This really irritates me about people who play dumb. There are people who play stupid, who are sitting on literally lots of money and who act like they're not. There are people who play stupid. There are people who play dumb. Try to divorce a narcissist who has learned that playing dumb works. Try to get this person to sign the divorce papers. Try to get this person to be fair, right? I don't understand. What do you mean? Try to get this person to, sign off on the real estate deal to let your house go. Try to get this person to act responsibly. Let's say you're divorcing a narcissist and he or she said that they're going to pay for half the kids' tuition, right? Suddenly this person doesn't know what that means. They lost the paperwork. They didn't get the message, right? The kids' tuition was due last month. You end up having to pay the tuition and they're acting stupid. Oh, I didn't know that the tuition was due. Oh, we had that agreement? I don't remember making that agreement, right? And again, this is not exclusive to females. It's not exclusive to men. Both men and women play these types of games. Both of them act stupid. It could be a form of passive aggressiveness. Most likely that's where it's coming from. And they learn that it works. So when I play stupid, I frustrate you and you eventually get the job done and you leave me alone and I get to hold on to my stash. Number 12 is what I call catch me if you can, because I've shared on this channel how I was love bombed by a very charismatic, narcissistic person who groomed me and who looked me up and investigated me. This was years ago, obviously. I've been with Anthony over 10 years now, or about 10 years. But this person went out of his way to learn me. And what I ended up discovering was that he was trying to steal my house from me. And he had successfully stolen his house from his own mother, right? So there was a quick claim deed involved. And there was some, apparently, the story that I received was he was able to seduce a real estate attorney who put in a quick claim deed, and he actually stole his mother's house. So the number 12 I call catch me if you can. Narcissists, when it comes to financial abuse, will steal from you. They will steal from your family. Obviously, that's a really strong case. That is terrible what happened to this person's mom. I'm so glad I escaped. But, there are other levels of it where a narcissist will take money from your family, promise to pay it back, and then act like they never promised to pay it back. Well, the conversation never had. I recently heard a story where someone asked their spouse to ask a family member for money, and when they gave this person the money, the agreement was that the money was going to be paid back. Months later, when the spouse approaches the narcissistic partner, like, we have to pay my family back for this money, their response was, what money? I never asked anybody to borrow money from anybody. So it was almost like it never happened, right? That's stealing, people, okay? When you make an agreement to pay someone back and then you play dumb or you act like it never happened, that is stealing. Recently, a YouTube viewer wrote me and told me that she had a narcissist that love bombed her, got her to trust him, and he started showing up at her house uninvited, then eventually moved like 2 doors down, never told her, and then stole her truck, right? And when she confronts him about stealing her truck, he has a fit. He goes into a narcissistic rage. I mean, this stuff happens, right? One person told me that she was dating a man who got her to buy a boat, put it in his name. She assumed responsibility for it, and he left town, right? Catch me if you can. Look, at the end of the day, we can't live our lives with our heads stuck in the sand. There are people out there who live to take advantage of other people, right? So I would love, Alice is groaning over there. I would love to walk around planet Earth thinking everything is rosy and everything is peachy keen. And for the most part, I can create that reality in my head. But that doesn't mean that I'm not aware that these people or people like this exist. And I'm not that I look for these people, because, what you focus on, you manifest and you attract. But I am aware, right? And I'm on my toes. And I've learned the hard way to identify financial abuse. And it is devastating when you are the kind of person who gives of yourself, gives everything to other people, because you see the best in people, and you can't fathom that someone is taking advantage of you. You can't fathom that someone's going to rape you financially. It's just not in your data bank, right? And then it happens to you. And most often it happens to the people that these people that would never do this to anyone else, right? And that is the real shame of all of this, in my opinion, that people are out there, empathic people, empaths are out there, codependent people, abused adult children from dysfunctional homes that just want to be loved, right? And don't feel like they're good enough and are people pleasers and caretakers. They do everything for everybody else. Unfortunately, that makes you a target for somebody with high narcissistic traits whose agenda it is to dominate and control you on every freaking level. So I hope this video has been insightful. I hope that you've benefited from it. And I would love to hear your stories about financial abuse, because I'll share them with all of you, right? This video could be 12 hours long, like 2 days long. Like, narcissists lie about taxes. They expect you to sign your name to falsify tax returns. I had a client whose husband opened up a company in her name, made her the chief financial officer. And then when he squandered the investor's money, she was the one who had to go to court to defend her name. This is financial abuse. So I'd love to hear your stories, and I will create other videos about financial abuse if you would like me to. The other thing that I want everyone to know about is that I have created a 12-week breakthrough coaching program. It's an online coaching program that helps abused adult children from dysfunctional homes, alcoholic homes, learn to uncover the programs that are keeping them stuck. You learn to understand the science behind the mind. You understand that healing does not happen only in the cognitive realm. Healing must happen in the subconscious realm. We must understand ourselves neurologically, physically, spiritually, you name it. Our psychology. We have to understand all layers of ourselves if we're going to have a clean sweep from the inside out before we can really start living authentic and powerful lives, because emotional triggers are there. And in my humble opinion, healing from emotional trauma is counterintuitive, because the brain likes to run away from forest fires, not towards forest fires. And to heal, we must learn how to embrace that which has been very, very painful. And so this is a process. This is a journey. It's not an event. This takes time. And I'm honored to be your guide. So the next 12-week breakthrough coaching program launches soon. I'd love for you to be a part of it. I launch the class twice a year. And you can find out more at my website at www.lisaaromano.com. And if you would like to listen to one of my books for free, just click the links below. Don't forget about my online Facebook support group. You can click one of the links below to find out where you can join that too. Namaste, everybody. Until next time, be safe out there. Be wise, be aware. Don't focus on the negative. Just be aware and use the spirit of discernment to help you navigate your life moving forward. And know that you are enough. You are special, you are unique, and you are divine. Namaste, until next time.